Washington mornings on the Mall. 105.9 FM. And AM 630. WMAL.
7:37 on WMAL, where Washington comes to talk. Brian Wilson, Brian Neiman. On the phone, Steve Moore with the Wall Street Journal. He's a editorial board member and a senior economics writer for the Wall Street Journal, and a good friend of this broadcast. Hello, Steve. How are you?
Hi, guys. Good morning.
All right, so I want to talk first of all about what's going on in Europe. I mean, France has turned left in a big way and away from the idea of austerity. Greece is in utter chaos. Spain and Portugal in turmoil. Some people look at the situation in the Eurozone and say the Eurozone is headed for a big double-dip recession. And yet, yesterday, I was surprised that it didn't impact our markets as badly as some thought it might. Should we be worried about what's going on in Europe, or is it already baked into the system?
Well, look, Europe is a dying continent. It's that simple. It's an empire in decline, and you see that in what happened in France, where you're exactly right. They lurched way to the left politically. This is an avowed socialist who has been elected president of France. That is a very bad thing for France, and it's a bad thing for the United States, I think, because it just signals that capitalism is in continued decline in Europe. By the way, what happened in Greece also was amazing. I mean, Did you see that not only did you get the communists and the socialist candidates got about 20% of the vote, but you had a neo-Nazi that got 8%. So but part of this, guys, I think was just a throw the bums out kind of thing, and that doesn't harbor very well for Barack Obama. If you think about what does this mean for the United States in our elections, if the attitude in Europe is just get rid of these bums, that might come back and haunt Barack Obama in November.
All right, we always talk about the economy. There's always doom and gloom around the economy. I want to look at something that may be optimistic, and you tell me if I'm wrong about this, because you wrote a piece a month ago, I thought it was fascinating, about what's going on in North Dakota, which is an incredible success story that doesn't get a lot of attention in the media for whatever reason. I mean, the unemployment rate is extremely low in North Dakota. What is going on there with energy, and how much of an impact can that have on our economy moving forward?
Look, this is the biggest story around the world that nobody is paying attention to. I mean, to put this you go to North Dakota. It was the first time I'd ever been to North Dakota. Spent a couple days out there in Williston, North Dakota. It is Boomtown, USA. This is. By the way, when you said they have a low unemployment rate, they don't have a low unemployment rate. They have a negative unemployment rate.
Is that right?
They have more jobs than they have workers right now. I mean, whenever I see a panhandler in New York or Washington D.C., I say, you can't find a job, go to North Dakota. They have thousands of them unfilled. And it's like going back to the Wild West during the gold rush days, what's going on there. It's really amazing. I mean, even the strippers from Las Vegas are moving to North Dakota because that's where the jobs are. And it is a great story. And here's the reason it's so important. If we get our energy policies right, and that means stopping the ridiculous subsidies to wind and solar, and just let the free market work, and let these oil and gas companies do the drilling that we need to be doing, within 10 or 15 years, the United States can move from being an oil importer to an oil and natural gas exporter. I mean, that is an amazing story when you think about it.
And well, what exactly is it? I mean, is this all the fracking? Is this the new technology that's coming out of North Dakota?
It is. That's right. In North Dakota, they sit atop what's called the Bakken Shale. And to give you a sense of what's going on there, guys, there is more oil in North Dakota than there is in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. It's amazing.
That's an amazing thing. Now, look, some of it still is not technologically capable of getting at it, but the hydraulic fracking process and what's called horizontal drilling is such a seismic breakthrough. I think a lot of people don't realize this. Because of this new technology where they're able to penetrate this rock formation and get this trapped oil and gas, it means that almost overnight our oil and gas supplies have increased 3 or 4 fold.
Yeah, I mean, have you looked at the price of natural gas lately? It's reasonable.
Exactly. And, I believe that not only are we going to use natural gas, more and more for electricity, which we are doing, but I believe in the next 10 or 20 years we're going to convert a lot of our transportation to natural gas as well. And that will naturally bring the oil price down. So I think it's a great story. It's a story about human ingenuity. And let me just say this. anyone who is against hydraulic fracking, that's like it being against the cure for cancer.
Yeah.
Well, you hear all the time the new thing is that fracking is bad for the water levels or the water tables, and also it can cause earthquakes.
Oh, look.
That's what you hear from the left.
There have been some instances where there have been some, spillage into the water supply. And there's no question we need good regulation to make sure that doesn't happen. But to basically say, you've got groups like the Sierra Club saying no more drilling for natural gas. That's insane.
Yeah.
It is, and by the way, one of the reasons the United States has reduced its carbon emissions more than any other country in the world is because we're converting from coal to natural gas. So you would think the environmentalists, if they really believe that global warming is a planetary catastrophe, they would be doing jumping up and down for joy over natural gas. Right. But they're not doing that. They're trying to end the natural gas revolution. The Sierra Club just started a new campaign this week called Beyond Natural Gas, saying we have to stop drilling for natural gas in this country, which would be like telling Saudi Arabia stop drilling for oil.
Yeah. Hey, you wrote a column the other day that was pretty funny. Had to do with one of my pet peeves about those automated phone systems that you get into when you call like a utility company or something. Yep. Those things drive me insane.
Me too, and you know what? By the way, the airlines are the worst. United will put you on the hold for 45 minutes. And one of the points I made in that column, and it really did resonate with people, because everybody is so angry about this, that we should all just revolt against this. Anytime you're calling a company trying to buy their product and they put you on hold for more than 2 minutes, I'm trying to start a campaign. We just hang up the phone and we take our business elsewhere, because this is rude behavior by businesses. Why can't you get a human being on the telephone anymore?
One thing that I've learned is that apparently some of these systems do respond if you just say the word operator, right. and then if you say it angrily, it actually, some of these systems can detect that you're sort of frustrated. So even if you're not angry, you just start screaming, "Give me an operator!" And you know what? Yeah. Somebody gets on the line a lot quicker.
You're right. They're tricks to the trade, and some of these do have emotion detectors. So I very rarely tell people that, but if you curse to these things, you can actually get through the system faster, but never curse to a real life human being.
Well, are you guys starting to sound like Barack Obama saying, hey, the ATMs are taking jobs away from bank tellers and, the assembly line? What's wrong with having an automated phone system? Doesn't it save the businesses money?
It says that they don't care about your business.
No, it says it's trying to save money.
Yeah, they do say, but my point is I'm not so sure they save money. Because if my campaign works and we start hanging up the phone on these companies and say, we're not going to take this anymore, this kind of rude behavior, and it doesn't trdrive you crazy, Brian, when they say, your call is very important to us?
Yeah, because if it was important, there'd be a person on the phone. That's right. All right. We got to leave it there, Steve. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I'll join you in that campaign.
All right.
All right. Steve Moore with the Wall Street Journal. Good to have you on the phone.